good. It's Eat, Sleep, Footy, Repeat. You join us at the Yard in the heart of Cardiff City Centre. We have people, actual people who know football. Lawrence Mora.
That's why we've brought them along now, because it's been a year or so and we don't know much about football. So we thought we'd bring some people that do to chat through everything that's going on in Welsh football at the moment, everything that we've been affected by over the last few weeks, and looking ahead to where we go from here.
The end of an era, the beginning of a new era, the beginning of a new kit, beginning of a new formation. All of these things and more to come up in the programme. Who have you got over there?
I've got Rob. Rob, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Rob Hopkins. I'm from Cardiff.
He is.
He is. He definitely is. And over here is a man that I always thought was Mike, but he isn't. He's Mark. But I actually mainly know him as Tosh fan. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Mark. I live in Barry. Season ticket at Barry. Try and watch Llanelli when I can as well. And keep an eye on my boyhood team, Swansea. But Wales above all else.
And all of the Welsh mafia out there who are on Twitter will know him as Tosh fan.
Yes, they will. They will. Yes.
Yeah.
Who apparently, it turns out, supports everybody.
Does he?
Well, Barry, Wales, Swansea, Llanelli.
It makes it easier when they're losing.
It is.
Yeah, he definitely didn't say Cardiff.
One softens the blow of the other.
So, gentlemen, for context, we are at the end of a World Cup qualifying campaign. I don't want to dampen your ardour, but we're not going to Russia. We need to get over this. We need to get over this.
Yeah.
So we join a new era, really, at the end of an era. I think, you've been running Twitter questions today, haven't you? I've seen Twittery questions about things about Wales.
Yeah, how we look to the future. I'll be honest, it's the first time I've done polls on Twitter. I got called up straight away.
You've been totally called up today.
The first one being, I think it was the on the kit, and then do you like it? No. And somebody was really back going, yeah, 3 of those are negative, only one's positive. And I was like, oh yeah.
Be so careful with your polling.
However, I did get the Chris Coleman poll bang on. Should he stay or go? Stay or go? I mean, even I got that one right. So it's cool. Yeah, it's fine.
And how? What are
we'll
the results?
reveal later.
We're going to reveal later on.
Yeah, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to start with picking the team for Panama. That's where we're going to start, because we're looking to the future. Coleman's called in some new players. We've had them bouncing around the squad for a little while, so we thought we'd pick the team for Panama, see where we're all feeling about that, and I think that's going to be the experimental one. France, Paris, I think it'll go with the tried and tested, but it'll be Panama where we see some new players in there. So we thought we'd do it. Are we going to pick the team?
Well, I thought we would do this through the tried and tested, the traditional way of sorting out.
Because I said, get a big board, with the pitch marked out, and we could.
Which was lovely and very, very professional. However, you've been overruled, and we're going to do this through the medium of condiments. No, seriously, because we've got over here, and you keep talking.
Okay.
And I'll go and so we've got 2 there.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, hold that. Don't drop it. Whatever you do. I've gathered together.
Oh, you have gathered
many
together
condiments,
lots
possibly,
of condiments. Okay.
We'll arrange our formation based on this. Well done, Mark. You sure you're not Mike?
Tosh fan will do.
Tosh fan. We'll go with Tosh fan. That's what we know. So, salt and pepper, defence attack.
Yeah.
Standard. Okay. Rob, I think you should have the honour of first pick. What are you feeling? Where are you going with this?
For Panama, I think it's basically going to be a mix of experience and sort of blooding some new guys in. I think we know what Wayne Hennessy can do. I think it's an ideal opportunity for Danny Ward to start and goal. Mm-hmm. So for me, Danny Ward starts.
Ward starts. Okay. Ward.
Do we feel? I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with Rob on that. I think it's Danny Ward's got to get his shot. He's deserved it. But yeah.
Wild card, Tosh fan.
Maxwell.
Wild
maybe.
card, and what to throw one in?
No, I'd certainly agree with Ward. Mm-hmm. I'd also start with another easy one. I think for the opposite reason. But equally credible, experience. Let's put Chester in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chester in the middle then. Good, excellent.
I'm happy with that. I'm willing to go with Chester because I think, It's an important to try and keep that continuity, isn't it? When you're trying to bed these players in.
Yeah.
So we've got Chester. So we've got one centre half. I think we've all agreed on that. We've got one goalkeeper. I was
It's a
just
good
looking.
start because you do need a goalkeeper. So I'm
So
glad.
I put
that
this
we
on
put
Twitter
one
as
in.
well. And I have to say, as I look down it, we got Baxter, who does the Welsh football fan. So he's gone for Chester and Ward as well. And I think there's Dan Evans. He's gone for Chester in there. So yeah, I think there's a
Broad consensus.
broad consensus. Tom Griffiths didn't. Tom Griffiths did not go for Chester.
Okay, well, I don't know Tom, and clearly he's mad, but
Well, he's gone for Lockyer in the middle. So he's gone for Williams to play and Williams to start and be, I suppose, that experienced person, but alongside Tom Lockyer.
Which is that's a credible way of looking at it. But the first controversial point of the night, possibly, I'd like us to have one game or maybe two halves, as in one half from each game, without Ash. Our greatest captain in history, but a little bit of an elephant in the room maybe for some. But there are some signs that we're seeing the beginning of the end of his career with Wales. It's very harsh, I know.
it's
but
creaking, you think?
He's not having a good season for Everton. I think Evertonians are pretty. There's a consensus at that club.
But to be fair, no one's having a good season at Everton.
No, that's true.
You know, like £45 million Gylfi Sigurdsson's not having a good season.
But we've always known Ash as a warrior, the type. Even when things aren't good, he's the type of man you look at, and he stands up and is counted and is a leader. Yeah, greatest captain we've ever had. And so I don't take any satisfaction putting this point. But I'd like to see utilise these next two friendlies to see how we perform without him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of see where he's definitely coming from. So in that regard, then, as the centre half partner for Chester, who would we want?
Yeah, that's the tougher one. I'd like to give some game time to one of the younger boys, and there's a credible option being put by Tom Griffiths.
Yeah.
Maybe some game time for Ethan Ampadu. Now, there's a question whether his future is as a defender or as a midfielder, but I say why not?
Yeah, because Chelsea, he's obviously been brought in midfield, hasn't he? But then on the Wales squad list, he was a defender.
Yeah.
So
And what he showed when he was given some game time against Everton recently, the guy can take a tackle, a very hard tackle, and get up. So I'd like to see more of him.
Yeah, I think we're a nation with a very limited pool of players. Ethan Ampadu is obviously somebody who's rising through the ranks of Chelsea. And to be honest, if you're going to fill a hole, I totally agree. Ashley Williams now is one of this group of players now who's only going to have a year or two left, I think, along with Joe Ledley in the middle probably as well. So if you're going to just fill a hole, I think that's one we need to be looking to fill. So I'd agree with playing Ampadu at the back.
Ampadu surprised me when we were in Georgia, because I don't go to the training. You cover the training for us.
Yeah.
But on the training, I know it sounds a bit daft, but he always does seem like he's this tall.
No, he's really tall.
Yeah. And then when he actually walked past us in Georgia, actually he's quite big.
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger than I thought.
For 17, he's going to be...
he doesn't even stop growing, yeah. Okay, no. So are we going with Ampadu then at the back alongside Chester? Is that where we're going?
Yes.
So
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
Back three, back four, back five?
Yeah, no, this is the one, isn't it?
I think with previous games, we've had to switch it in order to get results. So I think it's worth, again, we've got a friendly now where we can trial this out.
yeah, were someone to suggest we should start with the back five and then alternate second half, I could live with that. But if we're working on the basis of a back four, Ben left back.
I think
Left
Ben
sided.
left back, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Chester, Ampadu.
We're going
Davis.
4-4-2, are we?
I'm going for 4-4-2.
Are you going 4-4-2, are you?
Well,
So what do you want to see?
See, actually, I would go for 4-2-3-1, but that's just slightly.
Well, that's the
confusing,
brain.
this
That's the brain
situation.
stalking, isn't it?
But
Really,
yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah. Good drop.
So okay, then, so is it Gunter on the right side?
It's got to be Guns.
It's got to be
gotta be
Guns.
Guns.
Okay.
For nothing more than sentimental reasons, you can't leave him out when he's played 63, 64 games in a row.
No.
That's your reasoning.
Absolutely.
Because he's been there, he should just stay there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, even if you look through that squad, who do you put in there?
Now that's a more relevant point.
Yeah.
I have no room for sentimentality.
No disrespect to him. I'm not saying that we can only play him because we haven't got anyone else, but because he is that he's just made that position his own, and I think having that stability, again, in similar vein to Chester and Davis, that you still need that base to work from if you're going to bring in these young kids. You can't just chuck them all in.
And he's got plenty of years left as well, hasn't he? So it's not like we're trying to find a replacement for him. I think that there's options to sort of step in should we need somebody to replace Gunter, but he's here for the long term, isn't he? So
yeah, absolutely. Were I hearing more of Jazz or the likes of Adam Matthews or maybe one or two others at the moment, we could have a debate, in my opinion, on this. But yeah, I think this is Gunter's and a bit of a no-brainer. Start.
Was that what Twitter was telling you? Was the Twitter sphere giving you anything new?
Mostly, I think most people were going for our sort of 3-4-3. Like how we kind of lined up the Euros and kind of the favoured position, I guess. So Baxter going for Gunter, right wing back, Chester, Ampadu, Lockyer, and then Ben Davis. And who else have we got? Yeah, Dan going for Gunter, Lockyer, Chester, Davis. So he's going for a 4 at the back. So yeah, it kind of pretty similar. And it's just really how you kind of line them up and how you get them to play in that formation. So,
okay. Do you want to see Lockyer at some point?
I think he needs a go, because I think you need to find out about these players. Like, are they good enough? He's not played any higher than League One, Bristol Rovers. So, can he step up and play international football? Well, we'll never know until we give him a go. And if you're not going to give him a go against Panama, then...
What are you going to give him a go against?
Exactly.
Cool. All right, then. So into midfield.
Yes, yeah. Should we start in the centre? Let's start right in the middle. Because I think there's going to be one man that just you go, right, play him.
Yeah, and for me, that's got to be Joe Allen. Yeah,
agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Lots of nodding.
Also, if Ash weren't to start, he should be our captain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He is the next Welsh captain. I've been saying that ever since his performance out in Israel in Haifa. That was a captain's performance. Even though he wasn't the captain, I could see what he was doing off the ball, the way he was pointing at players. And I thought, this man is our future captain. Yeah.
Can't argue with that, if I'm honest with you.
Really, I mean...
No, he's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. We saw what happened against Ireland, didn't we? That
Is Bale going to end up being captain anyway?
No,
you don't think so?
I don't think so.
All right, okay, fine. All right, then. So there's Joe Allen. Not a surprising pick, but a very important one.
Who goes in alongside him then?
Are we going 4-3-3 or 4-4-2? Is the question, I guess.
Choice is wide open. Go wild. Let your imagination run wild.
Well, I tell you what, we always play with a 2 in that middle, so I don't think Coleman will go away from there. So he'll have a central midfield.
Is that about Coleman?
No, but he's picking a team.
What do you feel in your heart?
Yeah, but who do we... Okay, we're going to go with the 2 in the middle of the midfield.
I think Marley Edwards is a credible one. The one I had in my mind, it's what I think rather than what I think Coleman will do. Lee Evans scored an absolute beaut of a goal on the weekend. He, along with Bradshaw, who we might come to later, is a player I don't think we've seen enough of. I don't criticise Chris Coleman for that. There's been other players that have been more deserving of positions up until now, but I'd like to see more of Lee Evans. So what better opportunity than game against Panama?
I think that's a great shout. I mean, we could just put Ledley in there and give him, another game where they can hold the middle of the field. But
what would we do?
But what would be the point?
I think. Yeah. Obviously, Joe's done a great job over the years for us. But again, it's a friendly, one of our first friendlies in X amount of years, and why wouldn't we try and see what else we've got in the ranks?
Yeah.
Obviously, Joe's come in probably his last couple of years, I guess now. So we need to be blooding some new players, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to go with Lee Evans. I'm happy to go with Evans.
You can live with it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think if we're going to play Ampadu at the back, if we're going to play him as a defender, then that's the obvious one. Otherwise, you play Ampadu in there and you give Lockyer his shot alongside Chester. So that would be where my thinking would go. But if we're playing Ampadu as a defender, then I'm happy with Evans in midfield.
Right,
you all right with that?
Yeah, no, that's fine. This is very interesting. It's taking shape. It's taking shape nicely. I'm liking the reasoned arguments.
I told you, these guys know about football.
They know. Right, okay. Left side of midfield?
To start the discussion, Tom Lawrence, for me, yeah.
I think so. See, again, big Tom Lawrence fan.
You are a big Tom Lawrence fan.
I think he was very underrated in his performances towards that in the latter part of he got outshone a little bit by Woodburn and that sort of thing. But I think actually he did a really good job coming in and trying to amalgamate himself within the side. And I think he's worthy of getting that shot. And he's got first dibs on the shirt, I think.
Fair enough. I've got no argument there. I know you are a big Tom fan, but I really do think that he needs a good crack at it, and we need to show more of him. And he needs to believe that he can be what we all think that he can be, what Chris Coleman thinks that he can be, what anybody that's watched him play at whatever club he's been at, where he actually turns it on and you think, okay, actually this kid's quite good.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to miss his shot because there's somebody coming up. I think he's deserving of another.
And he's only 22, 23. I think he's 23.
He's old.
So
oh my God,
it's not
old.
Like he's got a whole career. He's not like one of these players again, like you were saying. Not one of the ones we're trying to replace or find somebody to replace. He's very much of the future.
Yeah. Well done, Tom. You're in, mate. We're in. Well done. Right.
Well done, Tom.
Well done. Right side of midfield.
For me, I think it's a good chance for Ben Woodburn to start. And again, Lawrence Woodburn, I think they can swap as well. I think either can play on the left or the right, So I think Woodburn's earned his chance to start. Certainly produced when he's come off the bench. And I think potentially could add a couple of thousand to the crowd as well if Woodburn is starting the game.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Woodburn maybe more advanced or a more free role? Because one of the problems at Liverpool is they're not actually quite sure where he should play.
And also we chatted to Oshan, didn't we, last year, and before he sort of broken into the term, and they were saying he was saying the most exciting thing with Ben is we're not actually sure which is his best position yet. I've seen him play number 10 and he's been magnificent. I've seen him play wide on the left, wide on the right, and even sort of down the middle as a second striker, and he can play them all. So that's really exciting, I think. But I think actually when you were talking about this formation a little bit is that. See, I'm going to advocate that actually, rather than the two centre forwards as such, we play with Ramsey as a number 10, and that then gives you the chance to have Woodburn on one side and Lawrence on the other, almost as a three that play. So you're playing a 4-2-3-1. So you got to but. Well, hang on.
Just for the illustration.
Just for the illustration.
Yeah. He doesn't have to stay there.
No, it doesn't. No,
it's fine.
Okay,
so we can take him out. It's all right.
That's all right. Well, I think we're all agreed on Woodburn.
We need to get over the excitement and get into the point. Right, what's this kid actually like? Can he do it on a Tuesday night against Panama when there's nothing on it? And let's be honest, Cardiff City Stadium isn't going to be as full as perhaps it is against Austria.
It's the mark of any player if they can do it on a cold Tuesday night against Panama. I think it's the old saying, isn't it?
Traditional test.
Yeah, that's the benchmark. That's the benchmark. Can you do it against Panama on a Tuesday night?
Can you imagine what it's going to be like for Panama walking out there if it's like 3 degrees? They are not going to know what the hell is going on.
Anyway. Strip back on the plane.
Yeah. Gaffer, how did we come to this? We just qualified for a World Cup. They obviously call their managers Gaffer.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Actually, no, I think the pronunciation is Gaffé.
Gaffé, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, good. So 2 centre forwards. Do we go with 2 centre forwards, or do we go with a sort of front man and Ramsey off?
I think the Ramsey option's a very credible one. It's a shame that Johnny Williams has pulled out. Because again, that could have been a great opportunity for him to sort of slot into that sort of number 10 role. With options, I think you either go with Ramsey or you go with 2 up top, personally.
Yeah, my instinct was the 2 up top. Again, what would we learn with Ramsey? He's not been terrific the last 2 or 3 games for Wales. I was thinking more in terms of a Vauxhall-Bradshaw partnership up front, because as I said earlier, I don't think we've seen enough of Bradshaw. What we have seen,
we haven't seen anything of Bradshaw.
No. Well, we did see he did get some game time in one of the friendlies
Ukraine
before,
away, was it?
Something like that, and he did well, I thought. He's doing well at Barnsley. I think he scored again last weekend.
Yeah, no, he's doing fine in the
I'd like to see him play off another player like a traditional UK centre forward, Vaux. That would be interesting for me, especially when you've got the 2 wingers that we've just decided on. How that would work out, I think that would be of interest.
Okay. So we're going to go for 2 centre forwards. Are we going to go with Tosh fans? Two players up front. I think Vaux has to be one of the strikers, I've got to be honest with you, just for sheer lack of anybody else. It's the one position, if I'm really honest, that as we look through that entire squad and the new players coming through, it's still the position that we are struggling to find somebody.
It's where we're lacking the depth the most, that player who can lead the line. And what concerns me is even looking at some of the feeder, the under-21s and so on, we don't seem to have many of those. No. We're producing an abundance of midfielders and good defenders, but not that striker who can lead the line. That John Hudson of Oaks.
Yeah, the younger Tyler Roberts, who's in the under-21s, he potentially could be that. But I mean, he's young. He's playing at Walsall on loan. He's doing all right there,
and rated highly at
Walsall and at West Brom. Yeah, so potentially, but that is still 2-3 years down the line,
and I see him as more of a creative player, attacking creative rather than a lead the line player. But who knows? Great if he could evolve into it. Yeah.
So Vokes is in.
All right, Vokes is in then. Okay, fine.
Yeah, Howell's out of the squad, isn't he? So, yeah. I got to be honest. I think if you're ever going to give Bradshaw a chance, it's got to get a chance.
Are you saying that if he doesn't get a chance against Panama on a cold Tuesday night, then
what's the point?
Okay.
Honestly, there comes a point where he keeps coming in for people to fill in the squad when they're injured, but he just doesn't play, and he doesn't get selected for a squad. He's always on the standby list. So, if he doesn't play against Panama, if he doesn't get 45 minutes.
Bradshaw then, gentlemen?
Absolutely agree, yeah. I think he deserves a chance, yeah.
The good thing about discussing your starting 11 for a friendly, it's a very different discussion to starting 11 for a qualifier. I mean, the latter is far more serious. You're nailed on. Most of those players are going to play a full game or 70 minutes or so. With friendlies, you've got the option of then changing it completely second half. So that context is important as well.
Well, I like this team. I like
the fit of this team. Yes. So if we
width on it,
we recap.
Let's
recap. And I wonder if producer Dan, who's hiding in the corner, doesn't want us to talk about him, if he gets an overview shot, and then maybe we can add names on or something further on in the edit. Maybe we can do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Yes, there you go.
Excellent.
Right. So starting at the back then.
Yep.
Young Danny Ward.
Danny Ward to start.
Okay, and then let's go left to right. So,
still
Ben Davis, isn't it? It's still Ben Davis.
Yep.
That's Ethan Ampadu.
It is Ethan Ampadu.
Then we
taller
got,
than you imagined him to be.
Yes, yeah, and he looks it here as well.
Yeah.
James Chester.
Yes, James Chester for experience.
And then because there literally is nobody else who could play there, Chris Gunter.
And because he's played 60-odd games
because
there, we just don't want to stop it.
And we're really sentimental about it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Cross midfield.
Moving into midfield then, we have Joe Allen.
Yes, Joe Allen.
Still happy with Joe Allen? Okay.
Holding midfield.
Lee
Evans is going to be
Lee Evans, yeah. Well done, Lee, mate. Yeah, made the cut there. On the left-hand side, we're going with Tom Lawrence.
Yep.
Over on the right, we're Ben Woodburn. We're expecting a lot from you, Ben, all right? Tuesday night, Panama, cold night. Can you do it? Okay, just saying. And then up top, we've got the man, Sam Vokes.
Yeah, leading the line. Yep.
And
Bradshaw.
Young Bradshaw.
Yeah. Who needs a chance?
Who needs a
shot.
And it leaves us.
Well, have you got one missing?
No.
Was that Di?
No.
No, was that Ash?
No.
Oh, sorry, go on.
It leaves us with the man on the touchline.
I see what you've done there.
Yeah, I see.
That's why we bring him along.
So what we need now
is
some sort of seamless sting or segue where we clear out this and then we discuss.
The man on the touchline.
The man on the touchline.
Let's do that. So, one man left on the table. One man, one pepper pot, one Chris Coleman. And that is the big question for the next section. So, stay or go? We ran a Twitter poll, Al.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah. How did we do?
Wow. There were only two options. So, stay or go. Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? Okay. 92% said stay. Stay. 92% stay.
Yeah.
88% go.
8? That many?
Well, I was actually surprised by the 92%. I don't know if you guys, they felt about that. Are you surprised that there's quite so many who wanted to stay?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think the poll was pretty much what I expected.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the most successful manager in our history. United everybody after such a difficult time after Gary Speed, taking us to a tournament which everybody's absolutely pined for 58 years. So hopefully there's a new breed of youngsters coming through now, so there is something for him to stay for.
Something to excite him, something
absolutely,
to keep
yeah.
him
So
going.
I really hope he does stay.
Yeah. But we were sort of saying that potentially, Mark, it's like there would have been, if we think he'll go, there might have been a different reaction to that.
Yes, and I think there's consensus. I think if you ask a lot of Welsh fans, do you think he'll stay or go? A lot of people are saying, I just don't know. We can't tell his body language at the previous press interview, etc., etc. I do agree with everything that's just been said by Rob. Totally agree with his thinking. But the poll, I voted stay, for the record. But I was surprised with the 92.48% go result. I was expecting it to be something like 70-30. I think there is a credible argument out there, despite what Chris Coleman has done for us, inheriting a legacy that was you can't just comprehend. It goes beyond football. What he's done for us, his crocodile skin has got us through a large period, took us to the Euros, etc., etc. But there is a credible argument out there that says, despite all that, the qualifiers that we didn't succeed in, just gone, were there for the taking, and there is an argument for a new man at the helm.
That it was a failure. The finishing third was essentially a failure.
If someone put that argument, I would find it difficult to produce a strong retort, put it that way. Despite wanting him to stay, despite thinking that he's a really good guy, a fiercely proud Welshman, works very hard for the cause, I could understand the contrary argument. So this is me priding myself on a bit of objectivity. Yeah.
No, I can understand that, because I think that's almost maybe going on in his mind, is that have I stayed beyond where I will my legacy be a positive one if I stay and we don't qualify for Euro 2020, or will my legacy be a positive one if I go now and I go on a failure? It's an interesting one, and we were talking about what would make him stay as well, and whether it is money or whether it's more coaches or whether it's something a little bit deeper than that. I don't know if you've got other thoughts on that.
The thing about Chris Coleman, he's always been very transparent with the media, with supporters. He's been saying for a number of years, managing Wales will be the proudest time in his career as a manager. He's been very clear about that. But he's also been very clear that he would miss elements of club management, the day-to-day.
You say that, but I actually think he suits international management. I've never said this before. I've not.
You have said this before, but I kind of agree with you. He's really good. He is really, really good at the community and the outreach and the meeting people and the glad handing. And he gets to the clubs and he goes out, and we've seen him at
and the players. The players will turn up for him, and the players will run through brick walls for him. Yeah. They absolutely love him. And at club level, I don't know whether you
it's
quite
a bit of a treadmill,
get
isn't it? It just feels like it's a constant every week, the same questions.
He's got a bit of time to spend with his young family. He's got a bit of time to play on the golf course.
But all of that notwithstanding, yes, he's done a fantastic job going out to communities with Ian Gwynhughes and talking to fans. I've seen him with children, and he is top notch. The guy is quality. That notwithstanding, he is a football man. I think he wants to be on the training ground every week. He wants to be going to see new talent every week. It's in his genes, it's in his blood. So I totally get why he would want to return to club football. Plus the elephant in the room, the FAW will never, ever be able to compete in the free market with club football in terms of what they could pay him. And we're all human.
Were there any among the dissenters, or were there any alternative suggestions?
Do you know what? There were a couple.
I thought there might be.
So I'll read a couple out. So do you remember John from our hotel in Moldova?
Yes, but does John remember John from the hotel?
I met him outside the Full Moon just before the Ireland game. Yeah. He was very happy with this because his missus is now coming to Paris with him.
Oh, yeah, and he's really happy about that. Yes, I do remember
really
that.
So
he hasn't figured out yet. Actually, it's John. Your missus is allowing you to go with her. That's actually what's happened.
Yeah. So he says if Coleman does go, he'd like to see. So it's not a dissenting voice, actually. All the people that they put in options, and it's Bellamy Hartson as a duo.
Bellamy Hartson.
I don't know who to. That for me sounds like fire and fire. Fire and fire just makes more fire.
You see, when I look at it, what I'm looking for, because what we have with Coleman, we have a charismatic, a deep thinker, a man who can galvanise the troops. But you have next to him is Oshan Roberts. Now, when you look
Kid Simons.
And Kid Simons, and when you look at that combination, Hodgson and Bellamy, what the one thing that's going through my mind, you just have to excuse me here, Mark, but
we're doing formations again.
Yeah, no, but who is the brains of the outfit? That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
And in that scenario, not really feeling either of them.
I don't know. I think Craig's got a future. I think it's way, way, way too.
But
early.
he has a future.
Yeah.
He hasn't a now.
Yeah, indeed.
And yeah, I don't know. You're a Cardiff man.
I agree. I think Craig Bellamy has got a future in the game. At the moment, way too early for me. If Coleman was to go, I think Carl Robinson's a really credible shout.
Absolutely.
I think he's done a decent job out in Canada.
Yeah, I know he's highly thought of.
And obviously he's got the sort of Welsh credentials and played for the side and knows the setup. So I think it's kind of promoting from within in some respects.
Yeah. I think were Chris Coleman to go, and whilst I'm not wedded to it being a Welshman, I think that there are only two candidates that get me motivated, and that would be Carl Robinson, who I think is a class act, fantastic in interview. I'm not saying that you should appoint based on how one performs in an interview, but that notwithstanding, he's quality. And the other one is Kid Simmons. The thing you know about Kid Simmons, with Kid Simmons will get the dressing room straight away, and I'm confident.
Could we give the man his pint?
he's his point, though.
You've saved. You've taken his pint to the front.
Look at it longingly going. I could just do with clearing my throat on that. Yes.
I'm confident that both of those would have the dressing room intelligent. And if we remove the last three appointments, if you can allow me to use Swansea as an analogy, the thing in the Swansea City story, when a manager was lost, Hugh Jenkins got the subsequent appointment right. So there was continuity. When it lost Martinez, they appointed Paulo Sousa. And whilst he was only there for a season, he didn't compromise possession-based football, but he made them a solid unit at the back. So I like to think with someone like Carl Robinson, he would bring something different without compromising what's strong about Wales.
That's good. That's a very good point.
Yeah, no, definitely. So another couple of the names that were thrown up then, and this was going from one end to the other. So Owain Thomas, he said, as long as Coleman's heart's in it, he'd like him to stay, and he's happy with that. As potential replacements, it's easier to say who I don't want. I don't want Pulis, and I don't want Giggs.
Pulis, I think he's a more credible option than Giggs. I think you can never sort of get away with Giggs. The fact that he never turned up for a friendly, and that sort of sticks with all the fans. How can you promote people being, sort of giving everything to the cause when you've got a guy who wouldn't leave Manchester for a friendly, So Giggs, definitely no. Pulis, he's a football man. He's got Welsh roots, so he fits the bill in some respects.
I'll be honest with you. I heard the name Tony Pulis taking over Wales, and my heart sinks. You'll lay that on the line right now.
I think,
And when he takes over, I'll be like, "Hi, Tony."
Sorry, Tony. I'm sorry. On this side of the table, I actually think you're a credible actor. I think you're all right, fella. You're fine with me. All right.
My
Just
heart sinks.
yeah,
saying. He is effective.
He might be effective, but he is not interesting.
I don't think...
I just doesn't suit the players we've got.
A proud Welshman.
Yes.
I think he's good in interview.
Yes.
He's got a good CV. You know what you get with Tony Pulis, but I don't think he would be a continuity appointment, as in someone that would build on the continuum that we've seen
100%.
since 2004.
100% agree.
All right,
Agree with
fine.
100%.
Well, so I think we're universally agreed on then that he should stay. Coleman should
Gotta
stay.
stay, Chris.
Stay. That's you. You're staying.
But you've got to work on a new plan.
Yeah, there's a new plan. We need a new plan. That's all resolved. Agreed.
Yes.
Excellent. These are all good things. Now, of course, very exciting. This week, we finally got our eyes, a first look of the new Wales kits.
Excitement was building everywhere.
Yep.
It had been leaked.
Yep.
forehand. But
It was red.
This was actually...
There was a bit of white on it.
Yeah, there was a dragon.
There was a dragon. Everybody went, that's a Wales shirt. I've seen them
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah. But now we had the official shots and everything, and they're out there. And you put it to the nation, didn't you? You put it out there, and you wanted to know, what do you think of this? And what were the options that you went for again?
I went for love. Meh. Could do better. Utter pants.
See,
And I got pulled up straight away.
Yes.
Straight away.
By a man who knows.
A man who has the finest
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Simon Shaky.
Yeah.
Match worn.
Yeah.
And he went, what about just like... Gone 3 negatives. And to be fair, it's a fair comment.
Do you know what strikes me about this shirt?
Go on.
It's not the shirt at all. And it's actually the photograph that they've used. So I've got it's a condensed one here, but Ashley Williams, very smiley. Very smiley. It's lovely, yeah. Sophie Ingle, the Wales women's captain,
yes,
very, very smiley. Very
yes.
smiley. Natasha Harding, she was smiling on there as well. I thought they're loving this shirt. Everybody's really nice. And then you get to Gareth Bale, who it looks like somebody's just made a noise at back of shot, and he's like, "What? What was that? What was that?" Staring sternly. It's like 2 different photographers did
that's
it.
That's his blue steel pose.
Is it really?
That's
Is that what it is?
Pose. Yeah, he's going to a Zoolander there for sure. Yeah, he's learnt that in Spain.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely.
But I just feel, honestly, Gareth, just give us a smile. Show that you like it, or do something about it. But don't just gaze off into the middle distance.
Although I have to say that actually, Gareth's face is kind of my reaction to the kid.
You're not feeling it, are you?
No.
You're not feeling it. Let's put it to the expert panel.
Yes. Yes.
Mark, come on. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been observing social media's response today, and 2 things have dominated. 1, the button, and 2, the price. And I think the latter in particular is a legitimate piece of feedback. I think on the market it's £60 for an adult, and is it £50 for a junior? I mean, it's a lot of money to most Welsh families.
That's a general point, though, isn't it? That every football kit is renowned for its it seems to be like one-upmanship every year. Let's see what we can get away with this year when we charge for a shirt and see what happens. I just think.
I guess on the other hand, this is actually going to be a 2-year kit.
Yeah.
This, if you buy your Premier League club or your Championship club, at the end of the season they're going to be going for a tenner at the end of the year as they try and clear the club shop, and then next year you're going to have to pay another 45 quid.
Yeah.
This is a 2-year shirt.
It is. Rob, you're a man of sartorial elegance, the zeitgeist, the cutting edge of the Milan fashion scene.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I think there's nothing particularly wrong with it. I think we've missed a bit of a trick. I think in social media has sort of suggested the same. It was a great opportunity to go retro. We've had some great kits in the past made by Adidas.
I don't get this obsession with retro. I don't get it. I mean,
you and a few other people, like Johnny Owen,
admittedly,
loves the kit. He says simplicity is beautiful.
Admittedly, in our own EatSleepFootyRepeat branding, there is a retro feel to it. I will grant you that.
To the Stings.
Yeah.
These guys
the Stings. These guys are learning the production lingo.
Yeah.
But there's an elegance. There's a simple elegance about it, and that's what I like. They haven't gone fussy. They've just gone, that's just little accent.
What they've done is they've gone, these guys are going to the World Cup, we'll do that for them, and we'll do that for them, and we'll do, Wales, are they going? No. What about that one over? Yeah, let's just do that. It's an afterthought. It feels like an afterthought. I don't agree. Red and put button.
I think it's one that you'll grow into. You'll grow to love it, because I feel that there is. We talk about the retro ones, the ones that we love growing up. We remember this shirt or that shirt. But I also think that your love of a shirt is tied to your emotional reaction to it. So if there's a shirt, it might be absolute dog. It doesn't matter because they beat somebody at one night up in Wrexham, and you do what? I love that shirt.
So for one example, then just going through social media today, Chris Watham, is he called Watham? Watham. Chris Wathane.
Yeah.
Chris Wathane said that his first shirt was the 88, is the Hummel. The red one. Very simple, very plain, very simple. And so he said, I really like this shirt because of that. That's why I like that simplicity. So maybe he's backing your point up.
Isn't he also a Spurs fan? And they were also sponsored by Hummel at one point. So I don't know.
One of those Swansea Spurs fans.
I don't know. I'm just making this up now.
Spurs.
Making this up as we go along.
But
But back to my original point. Sorry, Chris Wathen. I didn't mean to denigrate your footballing prowess or fanship there. Mark, do you have? I was going to say physical attraction, an emotional attraction to. Do you have a physical attraction to a shirt? That's a more interesting question.
I have an attachment to pretty much every shirt I wear, but my favourite retro one is the one from the 70s. You know, the Brian Flynn, Toshak, Yorath era. You know, the stripes. Love that. I think that that would probably be up there in any retro poll that you ran for any Welsh kit. The other point I wanted to make about this particular kit, which I think is important, they've addressed feedback that's been made previously about options for female supporters.
This is true.
That matters. So I've now got potentially an option of a Christmas present for my wife now that I hadn't thought of before.
Oh, she'll be so excited.
She'll be blown away with that, yeah.
Especially as she's Welsh by marriage. So
Made up. She'll be made up.
Yeah.
She'll be proud.
Yours, Rob? A retro favourite? Because you're not a big shirt man, are you?
No, I don't. No. I think your first Welsh shirt's always one of your favourites.
Yep.
Going back, the Hummel one was my first one. Sort of late 80s with the sort of stripes on the arms. So yeah, I like the retro feel. There's nothing wrong with this kit, but I think they could have done a bit more with it. And I think in this day and age, people like to look back, and it's a little bit romantic to look back. And yeah, we've had some classics over the years, and we could have embraced one of those, I think.
I think we've covered many things. Many things in great depth.
Yeah.
Great wisdom, I feel,
Yeah.
has been dispensed. Are we
I
all
think
happy
so.
with our contributions, gentlemen? We're feeling, yeah.
Well, hopefully you've enjoyed it as well, because this is like a little bit experimental. We thought we'd try something a little bit different for this one. It's kind of podcast video, vodcast. More vodka.
More vodka is needed, maybe, but
yeah.
it'll be far more fun then.
Yeah.
Back to Panama. Are you going to Panama? Yes. No, are you going to the Panama game?
Let's go to Panama. Panama away on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, tickets have arrived. Yeah,
Right.
I'll be taking the wife, the kids, and a couple of my kids' friends to come with us.
Tom,
Rob?
Yes, I'm going as well.
Yes, but many people aren't.
No, they're not. No,
and
no.
we feel that this is not right.
Okay.
We feel that we should do this. This is the beginning of a new era.
Yeah.
You want to be there to see it. You want to be there to see that formation that we just put out there. I mean, that looked like a cracking team for me.
And we understand times are hard. And we understand that, you've got to make choices, but the ticket prices is good. Don't fall off the bandwagon. If you jumped on and you just keep on riding it.
Ride that bandwagon. It'll come back around. It'll come back around. Now, I know one or two people have commented, is it worth the 4-hour drive from North Wales?
Well, so this has been one of the things that's been brought up, and I totally get it. We all get it. We were chatting off camera, weren't we? We totally get it, and we totally understand why it's an issue for them. But at the moment, while there is no other option of going to Wrexham and going to the racecourse ground, you make a great contribution. Yeah, anyone from North Wales.
We are.
I do hope our brothers and sisters up north, if they can't make it down for the Panama game, they get behind the under-21s.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be forgotten. Crucial in our story and our development. So fingers crossed they'll go to Bangor and fill that place out and get behind the boys there.
Yeah, big game Tuesday. It's a 6:00 kickoff, so you can watch the Wales game, I think, afterwards and in the pub at Bangor University or Bangor's ground, wherever it is. Bangor. It's definitely in Bangor. We know that.
I think that brings us to it.
That does.
If you have stumbled across this video in some way, shape or form, and even made it this far into it, then well done you. While you're at it, also subscribe, because there's more of this on our YouTube channel. So I think, yes, there's a subscribe button around here somewhere, but do that. Also, as well, don't forget to like and share and retweet. You guys are going to retweet, right? You're all over that? Yeah. From Rob, two Twitter channels here.
Yeah, both
of them. Both channels, right? And I think that brings us to a close. My thanks to Mark, Rob. Thank you very much for imparting your wisdom upon us. We hope it hasn't been too drawn out and painful for you. We need to return the condiments that we stole back to people, because they need seasoning with their. But I think that brings us to an end here at the yard.
Yeah, it does. Look out for us across social media. We'll be in Paris, obviously. The game will be going on. It's probably even finished by the time you've watched this. We'll be at Panama. We'll be out and about in Cardiff beforehand. And then the show will be coming in another fortnight's time from Friday the, whatever it is, 10th.
Something around
Friday
there,
the 10th.
yeah.
It'll be going out. And then a fortnight later.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know. But from us at the Yard then, wraps it up, I think.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Ta-da.